I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I know joy, I know peace. I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God in everything. Yes, I know God in everything. I know God in everything. Yay! Now take that energy and greet your neighbor with love.
No, the one that, yeah, yeah. Good morning, wonderful people here at the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome you, we appreciate you, and thank you for your presence. I'm H.R. Norwood, your appointed greeter for today. We have some door guards that's running around with some packages for anyone that's new here for the first time. Would you please raise your hand, stand if you can, and she'll give you a gift package. I guess we all are at home. A lot of empty seats. We got cell phones. Let's bring your neighbors. Thought is the one motive power of all actions, all growth, and all progressions. The animals have different ways of speaking or using the thought language, and they understand the meaning that is conveyed by the thought. The audible sound, which is their way of expressing thought. A hen makes a little cluck cluck in calling the little ducks. They understand the meaning that is conveyed by the thought. We have cell phones. The birds speak together and arrange the building of the nest, which they prepare for the unborn bird babes. They bring leaves, twigs, and help out. They clutter and chatter together. They understand the language of thought. We have cell phones. All we have to do is call our neighbors and invite them to be present with us. Let's talk about the ants. We all can leave crumbs on the table. One or two little scouts come out and find out that here's some food. We go in another room and come back and there's 1,000 ants. But anyway, ants have to do what they got to do. And 108 ants are working together on one crumb at a time. Wow. If they had cell phones, we'd be in trouble. But anyway, today we have our musicians at work. I had your name earlier, but I forgot it by now. Welcome, Brian. Oh, Venice. Very good.
Thank you, honey.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Really glad to be back here. So this is a little song that I wrote that's pretty easy. Maybe you can sing along. Maybe you can put your hands together. Lay back a little bit. I'm gonna slow that down just a little bit. Sounds good. I was dry in the mind. I was tired of thought. And I hate to admit it, I could never be taught. I won't believe that it's over when the system's down. I'm a survivor from the lost and found, and I paid some attention to the school of pain. But I'm back with a vengeance 'cause of your sweet rain. I won't stay under the cover to escape my fate. Bring it on now, bring me up to date. Let me stand in the river of heaven. Let me drink from the water of life. Let me go to the ocean of peace, and I'll wait up. Fill me up, pour it over me. Yes, and I did time in the empty. I was half past dead. Seen a lot of forgiveness fly over my head. I don't think I can get rid of what's on my back. Seeds I've sown grow like that. I won't know to believe it till it's justified. When my head is swimming from the advertised, I have to see for myself. With all that I've learned, I'm a survivor. And today I've earned, let me stand in the river of heaven. Let me drink from the water of life. Let me go to the ocean of peace, and I'll wait up. Fill me up, pour it over me. Yeah. Oh. Let me drink in the water of life. Let me go to the ocean of peace, and I'll wait up. Fill me up, pour it over me, yeah. Don't think there's a short supply. There's enough to go around. And when your palate's dry, let the water take you down. Let it take you down. Let me stand in the river of heaven. Let me drink from the water of life. Let me go to the ocean of peace, and I'll wait up. Fill me up, pour it over me. Yes, let me stand in the river of heaven. Let me drink from the water of life. Let me go to the ocean of peace, and I'll wait up. Fill me up, pour it over me. Nice, thank you guys, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you. Beautiful. Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica, and I'm a practitioner here at our Redondo Beach Center, and I'm going to share a mini lesson with you. Today, Dr. Moira's topic is, what am I realizing? It's a very good question. And as I was starting to research this topic, I noticed, or I realized, that The word realizing shows up everywhere in the Science of Mind textbook and the Living Science of Mind textbook. It's everywhere in the book, and so I thought this is an important term if it's showing up that often in our textbook. So some of the ways it shows up was, I realize that if we are realizing more truth, realizing a greater good, realizing its own spiritual nature, and the list goes on and on. So realization, as defined, I'm going to take one of Mark Ruth's terms, and as defined by our Google God, is when we become fully aware of something as a fact and that we understand it clearly. So when we understand something clearly, it's like an insight or an aha moment. Have you had that before? Like, oh, and that's like this information just downloads instantly into your brain, and you're like, wow, that's a great answer. That's a solution I was looking for. And it's almost as if a window opens, a window that's clear, but sometimes has smudges, kind of like your glasses, you know, when you have smudges on your glasses, and then when after you clean them, you're like, wow, everything's so sharp and clear. So when we have a realization, it's when everything becomes sharp and clear, and the wisdom of the Spirit comes downloaded into us. It's Michael Beckwith says that when we can see with the eyes behind the eyes, and when we can hear with the ears behind the ears, and when we can know with the heart behind the heart, then we can see the invisible, hear the inaudible, and do the impossible. I love that quote. Yes, powerful. So when he's speaking of seeing with the eyes behind the eyes, that's a realization. When we hear with the ears behind the ears, we're realizing, we're hearing the inaudible of God speaking to us and through us. And so how does this outpicture in our life? What does this mean, right? Let's put practical application to it. And it can mean something as simple as, have you ever started driving away from your home, you're pulling out of the driveway, and you're like, oh my God, I left the stove on. I'm guilty, anyone else guilty of that? Or oh my gosh, I forgot, the document that I'm supposed to have for this meeting. That's a window that opens up downloading wisdom. So that's a simple expression of it when we have that aha moment. Other times is when we're reading our textbooks and our Science of Mind books, whatever spiritual books that you're reading, and you have those aha moments and the answers to a problem comes through. And that's a powerful, powerful realization as well. And when we have this realization, we realize that we are one with God. Then we can realize that we are one with each other. And this is called self-recognition. When we can see ourselves in another, then we're realizing God is all there is. And how can we use this in practical application? Well, let's do that now, okay? So I want you to turn to your right. I know this is going to be uncomfortable. Just turn to your right and look and realize you're going to look with your real eyes. Okay, your real eyes, your God eyes. Look to your right and just realize who's sitting next to you. That's God sitting next to you. God with the little G. Look to your left, and with your real eyes, just look at each other, however it works, and just realize that that's God sitting next to you. Thank you for playing. So, if you ever want to know what your life's purpose is, or why you're here on this earth, all you have to do is look next to you. And with your real eyes, see the God within them. That's why we're here, to love each other and to recognize the God within ourselves and within another. And Thomas Troward, in his Edinburgh lectures, says, higher level of self-recognition, which is when we see that which is itself, God, in a different mode of expression. And we are all different modes of expression. And as we practice this and see with our real eyes, we will realize that the grace of God is expressing as our life. Yes. Thank you. Namaste.
It's time to stand and sing again.
source? Who's your source? God is. Dennis, come on up and help us. Get Dennis Bryan up here to help us sing.
Yes.
God is my source. You know that, don't you, Dennis? Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Love is my
Source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need.
So I
Give thanks for all my blessings.
Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Whoops. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my
Love
blessings.
gives me everything I need. Joy is my source.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me
Everything I need.
So I give thanks
So I give thanks
for all my
for
blessings.
all my blessings.
Give me
Everything I need.
Ready? Peace is my source.
Peace is my power. Let me hear ya.
Peace gives me
Everything I need.
So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
Peace gives me
Everything I need.
Back to God.
God is my source. God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me
Everything I need.
So I give thanks
For all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source.
Everything I need.
Oops.
God gives me everything I
Amazing. Now we are going to have our announcements, and Lucy is going to share those with us. And the crowd goes wild. Yay!
Oh my goodness, that's my favorite song to sing because nobody ever knows which word we're on, but everyone's having a great time anyway. Speaking of having a great time, Visioning on Monday nights is going to resume starting September 17th at 6 p.m. And Richelieu Hall is still closed for use, but the doors are open so you can see the progress. Please respect the safety cautions. They are there to keep everyone safe, hence the word safety caution. There will be chairs set up in the foyer of Richelieu Hall area after service to sit and chat. The Noble Fellowship Group, also known as the Men's Spirit Group, will meet on Monday, September 10th at 7 p.m. in the Teen Room. Wednesday morning services will resume Wednesday, September 12th at 11 a.m. Science of Mind classes are resuming with Dr. Moira's class on Wednesday evening, September 19th at 7 p.m. She will be teaching The Power of Your Word. Reverend Mary will be teaching on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. starting Saturday, September 22nd. Reverend Mary is teaching the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible. Lake Arrowhead applications are out now. It will be May 24th to 27th, 2019. If you start the payment plan now, you can pay it off over 8 months. Applications are available at the front desk. We always have practitioners on duty. Look for them in the practitioner sign in the rear of the sanctuary rather than in the foyer. We also offer prayer circle after both services. Please come to the grand piano after service. Divine Dining, tacos, tequila, and I feel like last week there was another tea, but apparently not. Bidding starts today. See Mark Ruth for more information. And please remain seated for the meditation song.
Good job. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And so, beloved presence, I pause now for a conscious moment. I breathe deeply, reminding myself that you are breathing me, and that the breath that I'm breathing is your presence in every aspect of me, mind, body, heart, soul. Above me, below me, around me, and about me, it's all your breath. And I breathe from it, and I breathe into it. And I am enjoying this moment of quietness and stillness so that I can remember this, that I am so empowered, so very empowered with life itself in all of its amazing magnificence, that I have this moment because I'm present, I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm consciously conscious, taking it in. The right where I am, your life is, and your life is me, living me, breathing me, having an experience of form through and by means of me. And when I contemplate these ideas, I am empowered, I'm unified, I'm integrated. And where union and integration is, there can be nothing present like its opposite. There can be no dissonance, no dis-ease. When I am consciously thinking and feeling the truth that sets me free from every ailment imaginable. I'm grateful for this moment, to be present, to be here now, consciously, deliberately awake, engaged, connected, tuned in, knowing that right where I am, life almighty is. And where this godliness is, there is only that and nothing else. And so, of course, all is well. I'm knowing it now. I'm declaring it now. I'm allowing myself to feel it now. And what I am knowing for myself, I am knowing for every person on this plane. I am knowing it for every living thing without exception. And I'm calling it, as it was first called, good and very good. And so in this state of realization, in this state of blessing, I send that blessing forward now, knowing it is responded to as I say. And so it is.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And so here we are, second Sunday of September. And in September, we are embracing universally all over the globe as a community this understanding and idea of the art and the science of prayer and what that means to us when we know it, embrace it, when we explore it, when we move deeper into this understanding. And so the question is, what are we realizing? And in that question is the other question, what am I demonstrating? And the other question, what am I experiencing in my life? And the other question, what causes me to experience anything? And the other question, have I any idea about the power of consciousness, thinking, and ideas? Because that's the chain. That's what happens to each and every one of us. Change happens by the embracing of an idea, by the ponderance upon a thought. Because thought, ideation, that's active energy. It's creative energy. It's intelligent energy moved upon a certain line of reasoning that produces a result. Produces a result. So this is what we're looking at today, prayerfulness as energy. That's what it is. It's not saying of words. It's energy. And it's what happens to that energy when I become conscious. And when I become conscious, we call that prayerfulness, powerfulness, creativeness. And so we're going to take a look for the rest of this month at how that's affecting your life, my life, and all life. Because whatever affects your life, make no mistake about it, affects all life. When you're going up in your life, you're taking life with you. When you're going down in your life, you're taking life with you. Because we're all interconnected, co-joined, immersed in each other, like it or not. Believe it or not, that is the truth. And so we want to get on the inside of that. To do that, what we have to do is understand. We have to understand more fully, understand more deeply what exactly ideas can do. And to understand that the Creator and creation is one and the same thing. There's no difference. There's no separation between creator and creation. Creator and creation is just different sides of the one coin. Different sides of the one coin. Again, I repeat, there is no separation in life. Life is not separated ever. It's one thing. There's one life. That life is my life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. We hear it over and over and over again. But do we live like we understand it? Do we live like we have absorbed it? Do we live like we're in assimilation of that concept? One life. And every aspect of it is of the one substance, and every aspect of it is part of me and part of you and part of everything. All of it, all of it, all of it. It's huge, your life. Your life is so awesome and so big and so beyond human understanding that it's not any wonder we don't get it when we're bringing our human mind to it. But remember, the human mind is limited and it cannot fully understand the infinite life, the infinite life. So what then? We have to go beyond the human mind into pure consciousness in order to understand and assimilate. Consciousness uses mind so that we can function here on three-dimensional planet Earth because we're in form, we're in a body, and we need that. Thoughts are creative. All thought is an act of creation. All thought creates, whether it's conscious or whether it's unconscious. All thought creates. Now, this is what we want to get so that we can be prayerfully thoughtful when we are thinking. And we are thinking all of the time. And so your life and my life would absolutely be totally transformed if you and I could move our thoughts in such a way that 51% of the time we would be affirming life, affirmative in our thinking. 51%. And at 51%, we would think that life was awesomely wondrous. Can you imagine, as the percentage goes up, the expansiveness of that? And the more integrated you and I become, the more unified you and I become with the understanding and the idea that my life is significant. My life, all life, every life is significant, unique, and stunningly, stunningly powerful. Stunningly powerful. If we understood this just a tiny bit more every day, teeny weeny bit more every day, one breath more every day, our lives would grow and expand exponentially. But what we have to do for that to happen is to come to terms with the understanding that I have been thinking in a way that's been mistaken for a lot of my life, in mistaken ways, not basing my thought on reality with a capital R or on truth with a capital T, but basing it on facts that may or may not be true. Now, again, Ernest Holmes says that we need to understand that ideas are the father to the facts, that ideas are cause and create an effect, that ideas have within themselves the power to manifest. Within the idea is the power to manifest what I am thinking about, to realize what I am thinking about. That's how awesome and powerful an idea is. Einstein says that ideas come from God. Ideas come from God, meaning that which is greater than we are, something more, much more than we are, our human selves. That's where ideas come from. And that there's no such idea as your idea and my idea. It's a divine idea. And then you and I get to respond to it in the negative or in the affirmative. It's up to you. We can respond however we choose to respond to that, a divine idea. I wonder how many divine ideas that you and I have recognized that we've totally ignored. I just wonder, all those great good ideas that came to us and we just went, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. You know. And here's the idea about prayerfulness. In prayerfulness, when I have managed to become that integrated energy, that's what prayerfulness is. It's powerful energy. And when I manage to integrate it, when I manage to align it, when I manage to dissipate all the dissonance within any idea that I might be entertaining, then there's where creation and its possibility is at its best, its zenith. There's where I can choose to move that idea. I get to move that idea upon a definite line of reasoning with a specific result in mind. And when I do that, Ernest Holmes and all the others tell us, Emerson included and Troward as well, say that the means by which that idea is to appear must happen. Must happen. Not maybe happen, but must happen when I am aligned and I move deliberately upon a specific idea with a specific result in mind. It must happen. Not by means of you, but by means of all infinite intelligence responding to your conscious movement upon itself, producing the way, producing the means for that to happen. And you don't have to worry about the how of it at all. The how of it is none of your business. Your business is to be clear, to be conscious, to move deliberately upon your idea of good and keep supporting that idea until it manifests. Can you do it?
Yes.
Of course you can do it. The question is, will you do it? Yes. We'll see. Next week, I want you to prove this. I put you to the test to prove it herewith that you have done this, and you have really deliberately moved upon an idea that you have brought into being by the end of next week. And write it out and put it on the paper, put your name on it and put it in the box. Proof that yes, you will do it because you have done it. Because there's no good hearing all of this unless I move upon it, unless I use the information that's coming through me. Not at me, it's coming through me. Those of us in the sanctuary today are here because we wanted to let this come through us. I've nothing to do with it. This is what you've called together yourself in group consciousness, to bring this idea forward by means of you. So deliberately and consciously getting yourself into that state, to allow that to happen. Well, how does that happen? Is there a way? What is prayer? Not the saying of words. Prayer is a process. It's a happening. It's a visceral thing. It's an experiential thing. And I have to ask myself, as you do this week, what is it I want to demonstrate by means of my thoughts and thinking this week, today? What is that I wish to have an outcome in as a result of the way I'm thinking today? Am I even asking myself that question? Because if not, why not? What is it I want to accomplish today because of the way I'm thinking? Because of the ideas I'm entertaining in my mind? What am I producing as a result of that, realizing as a result of that, demonstrating as a result of that? Because I am all the time demonstrating something or another. Good, bad, and indifferent. Do I want to choose it to be good? Do I want to choose ideas that help me mend and fix and heal and unify and expand life and support life and raise life from dead thinking? Because you can. We were told we can raise the dead. We can raise dead old ideas. We can transform them. And as a result, we can breathe life into what we're thinking and produce it in experiences in our lives. The question is, can you believe this? Yes. Can you believe it? Yes. And if you do, what are you doing with your belief? Are you living your beliefs? Because I know many people who are not living their beliefs. They say they believe this, that, and the other, but they don't live the beliefs. So are you truly living your belief? Don't answer the question. I don't want to jeopardize anybody. It's a rhetorical question. But I will ask rhetorically, are you living your belief in life? In good, in life advancing, in life expanding all of the time, no matter what the facts say, no matter what the news says, no matter what the appearance is. Appearances are appearances. They can be changed. Everything can be changed. The world can change, and it can change now. Not later on or in the sweet by and by, but right here, right now. Destiny can be changed. Destiny can be changed. All the mythology will tell you that. All the old ancient and new stories will tell you that. You are in charge of your destiny. No thing else. No one else. You are in charge of your destiny, and you're living it right now. I keep reminding us, as I am kept reminded, we are living our eternal lives now. It doesn't happen later on. You're living your eternal life now. Life is everlasting, unlimited, boundless in its scope for creative results along the lines of that which is good and very good. But remember, nothing happens. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. How many times do we have to hear this? Let it go in this ear, and out the window. How many times will we not be moved by knowing that wisdom, by sucking it up and drinking it up to its last drop, and then applying it in our lives, so that instead of this face that is full of anxiety, instead of this face is a frown, there can be a face that's full of realization of possibility unlimited. And always knowing good triumphs always, good triumphs always, good triumphs always. Do not worry about all that we are being told with regard to anything that's negative. Thinking makes it so. You agree with it or you don't agree with it. If I happen by chance to see the news, I will say, it's not my reality. It's not my reality. It's not my reality. That is not my reality. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. I will sustain and maintain my belief in the goodness of humanity. I believe that most people on this planet, if not all, are good at heart. And that when they can think straight and have a moment to breathe and get the right possibility and opportunity and so on, that the light will dawn and flood the being of everyone, because the light is very powerfully present in each and every one of us. Yes, I don't care who you name. I don't care what villain you want to come up with, past, present, or maybe in the future. At the heart core of that person beams and burns a brilliant light of truth that cannot be diminished and cannot be quenched in any way. And sooner or later, that will be what that individual will identify and be what it is in truth. That's what I believe, because it's the teaching. Why else would I be here if I didn't believe that? I couldn't stand here and say what I say. I believe it. I truly believe it. Sometimes through gritted teeth, I believe it, but I believe it. I do, because every individualized expression of life up to the human being, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of life, every single individualized expression of life is evolving, is evolving, is evolving. I'm not evolving at your pace. You're not evolving at my pace. We're all evolving at our own pace. I can't speed yours up. You can't speed mine up. I cannot slow yours down, and you cannot slow mine down. It's an individual job. It's a do-it-yourself thing. And no one has the power over me. Nobody truly is the boss of me. I am my own boss, and the question is, are we a good boss to ourselves? That's the question. How are we bossing ourselves? We are our own leaders. How are we leading ourselves? We are our own employees. How are we employing ourselves? This is the thing. Get it firmly under your skin. You are not employed by any person, place, or thing. The source is your employer. The source is your employer. The source is your employer. If you want to think your livelihood depends upon something or someone out there, you're in trouble, and so am I. But if you believe that spirit itself, source itself, is your employer, you can enjoy abundance in life and living. But remember, you have to render to God the things that are God, while you are rendering to Caesar's the things that are Caesar's. That's what you have to do. You have to walk that fine line between formed and unformed, between your formed self and your unformed self. Now remember, prayerfulness in truth is when you're able to get in touch, when I'm able to get in touch with my faceless, formless self. And when I stop identifying with my formed self, my physical self, or your physical self. Now, you see, in the faceless and in the formless, it's easy to see how we're all one, how we're all mixing and mingling and one energy and one power and one life. So much. It's more difficult when bodies are all around the place. It really is, because our human tendency is to judge. I like that one, I don't like that one, that looks great, that looks awful. What the hey is she or he doing? My God, you think they take care of themselves. Oh my goodness, look how well he takes care of themselves. Wouldn't I love to be like that? Oh God, how does she stay so thin? How does he stay so muscular? Oh my Lord. You see, comparing and contrasting is an idea. It's an ideation. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of thinking. And the human being is addicted to thinking in terms of comparing, contrasting, competition rather than collectiveness, or at best communion and cooperation. Separation, competitiveness. Union, cooperation. Cooperation. So all of these are thoughts and ideas, and they're all affecting you and me. If I want to separate myself from you, I can. If you want to separate yourself from me, you can. If I want to know that you are one with me, I can do that. Likewise. And whether the good or the bad stands in front of me, remember this. It's a mirror. And when you look into it, you're looking into yourself. Because what you can recognize, you already are. Now that's a hard frog to swallow at times, but it's sweetness at other times. When you look into the heart of a Mother Teresa and see yourself, that's sweet indeed. But if you look into somebody who is a tortured soul or whatever, it's a bitter sweetness to see yourself in that. But you must see yourself in that. There's no separation in God, so I don't get to separate myself from any person, place, or thing. I do not get to do that. I don't have the ability to do that anymore if I am expanding, if I am growing spiritually. And how dare I make a judgment about anybody, even though I think I know a lot about them. It doesn't matter how much I know about someone. I know very little about them. Guess why? Because I know very little about myself. Because if I knew a lot about myself, I would be different. I would be living up to my potential. I will be living as the empowered, individualized expression of spirit that I am. So we have to cut out the nonsense. Here's the most important part of prayer. And it used to be told to us from the time I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I'm saying all the prayers, I'm reading all the books, I'm taking all the classes, I'm doing all the seminars, and yet it's not working out. And what we were always asked was, well, are you being kind? Are you being understanding? How forgiving are you? Are you being generous? Are you taking care of your neighbor? Are you loving God as you love your neighbor? Are you loving your neighbor as you love yourself? You see, you don't get away, and I don't get away with saying prayers, with taking classes, with all of that stuff on the outside. Don't get away with that. That doesn't do it. That's not what does it. It helps a great deal because it points the way. Where is the way, and where is it leading? Right back here. Always right back here, to the power and the presence within myself, to the intelligence within myself, to the ability within myself. So, the best way to be prayerful is to know and to understand and to realize that I'm in the presence of God, and God's presence is in me all of the time and in all of life all of the time, and that as I would that others should do unto me, let me do unto them in like manner. I mean, what's difficult to understand about that? It's not hard to understand it. So here's the thing. I don't get to berate you, and I don't get to backbite you, and I don't get to say horrible things about you, and I don't get to form judgments about you, and I don't get to say who you are and what you are. I don't. It is not my place to do that, and I don't have the ability to do that, and you don't either. And you do not either. So that's what makes us wonderfully prayer-filled. Our kindness, our goodness, our generosity, our understanding, our compassion, and that's what creates a world that works for everyone. That's what does it, and nothing else. No beautiful words will do it, no great poetry will do it, no great art will do it. Nothing else will do it, except my thinking that makes everything so. So let my thinking be the best and the highest and the goodest I can make my thinking. And for that to happen, I must be present to it, conscious to it, awake, alert, and aware. And do I know that you can do it? Do I know that I can do it? Yes, I do. And so this is the week to prove it to yourself and for me to prove it to myself. That yes, I have the power to change the world, but only when I change my own world first. And so it is. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're applauding yourself because you are the energy and the power and the presence of God. I've nothing to do with it. Blame Spirit if you don't like what you hear. Because I step out of the way and I leave it up to Spirit and say, over to you and out, as the children do when they finish their prayers over in junior school. So, my dear ones, let's take our gift between our hands and know that when we do this, we're entering into a ceremony of prosperity, fullness, and plenty. And that when we give, we know this. I cannot diminish myself in any way by giving. I cannot lessen or decrease myself in any way by means of giving. In fact, the contrary is what happens. I increase every time I give, regardless of what good I'm giving, whether it's time, energy, talent, or treasure. It increases me. So we're blessing the increase for all, for those who give and for those who receive. Let's do that now. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is.
When I close my eyes, I see all that life can be, 'cause it's already there, it's already shared in spirit. When I choose to clear my mind of all the weight of outside, and one becomes all, collective and tall, between us. 'Cause there is strength in numbers, there is faith that answers now. If we make our voices heard by ourselves, we will find there is love, there is joy, there is peace, there's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create. When I quiet all my doubts, the truth of life comes out, 'cause it's already there, it's already shared in the oneness. 'Cause there is strength in numbers, there is faith that answers now. If we make our voices heard by ourselves, we will find there is love, there is joy, there is peace, there's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create sight when we are blind, and light when roads are dark, and all that we decide now. There is love, there is joy, there is peace, there's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create change. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Well, my dears, here we go into a great good week. Thank you all for being here and investing in your own spiritual unfoldment. I can't think of anything better we could be doing. And it's a joy to be with you, and I know all is well. Remember, please do read the handouts. Please do go back to the newsletter and read the newsletter. We have classes coming up, and let me tell you, we don't really deepen this teaching until we take classes. And yes, we can read the books, but do we? And yes, we can do it on our own, but do we? There's something magical, as all of those of us who teach classes will tell you, when a group come together on their common purpose, and when they come together and share their energies, it's magical. So please, please think carefully about the classes upcoming. And if you have the impulse, remember the divine idea is the divine idea. It's there before you have it. Then follow the impulse. Go for it. And so we are looking forward, are we not, Reverend Mary, to seeing everybody in class and growing exponentially as a result of that. And not only you growing, but the world being the better for it too. Because when your energy expands, the world's energy expands. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for all the good deeds and all the good thoughts and all the goodness you convey. Really appreciate that. You are making the difference, and make no mistake about it. You make a difference in all of life every single day. Thank you for the good difference you are making. And now we have our song that's coming up. We have our prayer first, and we're going to dedicate our prayer to the expression of spirit expanding by means of each one of you in this coming week, and for all of creation and every person on this plane. That's what we're dedicating it to. But thank you, Dennis, and thank you for the beautiful musicians that we always have every Sunday that take such good care of us. I mean, really, thank you. Music is fantastic energy, and it raises ours, and so we're very blessed to have such a great band and all the and go into a beautiful day. There will be prayer at the piano and practitioners at the end of Richelieu, at the end of the sanctuary, and fellowship later on.
Let there be peace on earth